Well, I'm sorry this was late today. This is actually Saturday at 12:30 is when I'm actually getting this one done. Um, I want to remind you, uh, please be here tomorrow if you possibly can. Now, don't do anything you would feel like you're going to jeopardize your health or go against your better judgment. But if at all possible, come. And we're still trying to do our due diligence and be careful. And so we'll have a little sanitizing station with some things on it at the front entrance, and still encouraging you to wear your mask when you come in, and kind of socializing. Keep your distance, wear the mask um, when you do that, and especially just show the world we're doing due diligence, show visitors we're doing due diligence, and we don't, I really wish somebody had the truth. What really is good, what's really not, which is helpful, what is not. But we really just don't have that. So the only thing we've got to err on the side of safety. And so that's what we've got to do, and we're going to be very careful that way. So be very careful, but come on to church. I mean, I'm looking forward to you. Now, I'm going to give you a really brief, there's a lot of work being done even today here at the church, trying to get some things finalized and finished. But Psalm 42, verses 1 through 3. Listen to this. It says, "As the hart panteth after the water brooks, so panteth my soul after thee, O God. My soul thirsteth for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? My tears have been my meat day and night, while they continually say unto me, Where is thy God?" It's a very important thing, but the answer to all of life's questions, concerns, and fears are found in this little passage right here. A desire for God, a desire to know Him, a yearning inside to know God, to be close to God, to sense His presence, and there's during these times, and God said it would be, but there's many that will claim to represent God. There's some that'll claim to be God. But we serve the living God, and we need to desire the living God. And as I emphasize over and over and over, the way to do that is through His Word, and through the Spirit of God that guides us in His Word and teaches us His Word. My soul, it says, as a hart panteth, as a hart, the animal, let's just say a deer, they sing it that way, but as the hart panteth, as it desires to have that drink of cool water from the water brook, from the brook that's the spring that's coming up, and that cool, clear water that's coming up, and all the yearning to desire that after, as they walk maybe a great distance. And God says, that's the way I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to desire to know Him, to desire the water of the Word, and to seek Him, and to know Him, to see Him. And He says, when shall I appear before God? When God is looking at us, and He's saying, God, I want to know that I'm in your presence. I want to know that I'm with you, that all the everything's been pushed away, so there's nothing between me and you, so I'm in your presence, and I can see you. He says, my tears have been my meat all the day. Let me just give you this illustration a little bit, and maybe it'll help. Back in summer football practice, high school, there a little bit in college while I was there, it was a point of discipline, especially in high school, back the way they were thinking running then, and we're talking about all the way to the early 70s, that it was a point of discipline not to let you have water. I mean, somewhere at the maybe mid practice you might get water, but if they were a little upset, it's up. excuse me, I can't talk this morning, they're a little upset with you, maybe, or frustrated with you, the way you're practicing, man, they've held us off, and you wouldn't hardly get water maybe till the end of practice. And oh my goodness, you would be so intensely desiring just to get water in your mouth and water down your throat. I mean, you were desiring it so greatly. I can remember times running to into the shower, still have my uniform on, maybe rip my helmet off, my shoulder pads and jersey off, and have my under jersey on and shirt on, and run into the shower and just turn the shower on and just open my mouth and just be gulping the water down, because I was so thirsty for it. I wanted it so badly. We were a different breed back then. Now, I know some of the younger ones are looking at it going, "Oh, that's some fairy tale." That's one of those, you walked in the snow, 5 miles to school, uphill both ways. No, it's the way life was back then. But we were a different breed in the sense that we lived outside. We lived in the heat. For the most part, we didn't have air conditioners, and you might have one little room air conditioner or something that later on, but most of my life we spent with a fan in the window at best. But we lived outside, lived in the sun. And the truth is, while we were running the hills and playing out there in the heat of the day, we didn't carry water with us. Not as kids. Now, if we went to the field, the hay field, whatever, there'd be a jug of water in the truck where we could make it to it, get a swallow of the water. But it wasn't like today, where you're so used to being inside, air conditioning, you're not outside that much. You finally get in the heat, man, and you can't hardly take it. And they go to practices now, and I think it's almost by law they've got to they got to be able to get to water or get some Gatorade or get something any moment that they want it. And it was just different. Our bodies and everything was adjusted to what we were experiencing. Now, the craving, though, became great and intense when we had gone to the point that we really, really needed it. Now, I want you to understand that. We out there in my day, the cravings became incredibly intense because we were at the point that we desperately needed it. And so today, as I said, it's available every moment in the practice because you're not used to going without it. Just be honest. And so the craving is great when the need is great. Sadly, the craving is great when you have been without it for a while. Now, the cravings then come when you are in a situation that the need to see God is great. There is a desperation. So God will allow us to go through desperate situations in order that we might crave Him more intensely. Now, secondly, the cravings come when you're in a situation that you need to see God greatly. You are in a spiritual desperation. Now, secondly, the cravings may come when you realize you have gotten away from God so much that you cannot see Him. Now, sometimes God will allow us, as we are walking with Him, as we're seeking Him, He'll allow us to go through a period of desperation and trial, and it'll feel like, Lord, even times where I've said, you feel like our prayers are bounced off the ceiling, or I'm searching for you, God, but I don't feel like I'm in your presence. I don't feel like I see it. He allows us to go through that because He wants us to crave Him so desperately. He wants us, our craving for Him to intensify. Now, there's the second time, though, the cravings may come when you realize you've gotten away from God, and so much so that you can't see Him. Now, you may get discouraged, disappointed, disheartened, and begin to turn away from God. And when you're in that point where suddenly you realize, I can't see Him, I can't sense Him, there is a time when that craving now begins to grow. I've got to, I don't want to live this way. I don't want to live in this desperation. I don't want to live in this fear. I don't want to live in this confusion. God, I've got to find you again. I've got to get close to you again. And we crave to come back to him, to get near him again. So just as the water today is continuously available, so God is continuously available. The water today in sports is continuously available. Well, God is also continuously available through his word. He's there. He's available to us. But unlike the water, you will increase in your cravings for God the more you're with him. Now, this is the third way to increase. When we're going through a situation where we desperately need him, we increase. When we turn our back and we finally come to the realization we don't want to live in this desperation, we don't live in this situation, we may crave him. But we also crave him. The more we're with him, the more we want to be with him. Being in a desperate situation should make me long for God. Being with God should make me desire to be with him even more. So maybe those three things will help you a little bit. A little bit sluggish starting off here today because my mind's on a lot of different things and a lot of different issues going on and trying to finish some things. But I do understand you're probably going through one of these three areas. You're probably going either through a great trial and almost desperation, and you're crying out to see God. You may be struggling and gotten discouraged and gotten away from God. And now you realize that I don't want to live this life. I don't want to go here. I don't want to live empty like this. And you crave to see God. But it might be that you're seeing him and you're enjoying him. And here's what happens. He's like, wow, this is so good. Let me see what else I can find. And so those are the three ways. Hopefully that'll it'll be a blessing to you and encouragement to you. I really do hope. We love you. See you tomorrow. All right? See you tomorrow.